49ers are benching quarterback Colin Kaepernick for Blaine Gabbert, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter in multiple reports. Kaepernick has passed for just 286 yards the last 2 games, and the Niners are 2-6. He's failed to score a touchdown for the 2nd straight game and 3rd in 5. Stephen A., what went wrong here?
Well, what went wrong here is the 49ers as an organization is laughable and inept, and they're reaping exactly what they have sown. If you hadn't gotten rid of Jim Harbaugh, this would not be happening. The fact is that even though, and I'll get to Colin Kaepernick in a second, regardless of how inept he appears, and he does appear inept at times, if you're Jed York, if you're Trent Baalke, if you're the San Francisco 49ers nation, that fan base, that city, look right at the CEO and right at the GM, because they put their personal interest in terms of a need to get along with the head coach ahead of winning, prioritizing winning. Even last year, as dysfunctional as everything appeared, you still ended up finished like 8-8. Jim Harbaugh had you respectable, okay? The 3 previous years, you were in an NFC championship game or the Super Bowl. And to sit there and to get in this man's way and to impede his ability to coach this franchise, you are reaping precisely what you sowed. You brought this on yourself, and you are getting what you deserve. That's number 1. Number 2, let's get to Colin Kaepernick. He has regressed. There is no question about it. And it really, really doesn't make sense when you consider the fact that his quarterback coach is now the offensive coordinator. So it's not like there's been an absence of continuity that's been there. He just doesn't seem to be developing. And just sitting in a chair and playing the role of couch psychologist here, whatever you want to call it, I look at a Colin Kaepernick that does not seem interested in playing the game of football with the people he plays for, the organization he plays for, and the teammates he plays with. Now, that's got to be primarily his fault, because you got to be professional. Now, he goes out there, gets beat up. There's no question about it. You know, he's getting sacked, he's getting hit a lot. He doesn't have the requisite weapons to throw the football to the way that he once did, because Torrey Smith and Anquan Bolden, maybe they're cutting it, maybe they're not, I don't know, but they don't seem to vibe with him. And he certainly wasn't vibing with Vernon Davis, according to the reports, which is one of the reasons why Vernon Davis is probably even more happy to be going to Denver, even though he's not going to admit, he's going to say, I love Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning. But here's the deal. If you're Colin Kaepernick, I know he can still run with that football. I know he can still make plays with that football. I know that in the right situation, he can help a team win on a football field. Don't tell me he's on a level of Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert ain't better than Colin Kaepernick. It's just that the situation is so dire that they had to make a change. I look at Colin Kaepernick's body language. He appears incredibly indifferent and apathetic. He doesn't appear to want to be there playing for that organization in that system any longer. He's not the same Colin Kaepernick that was tugging away at the heels of Alex Smith, excited about playing the game of football. He seems to be an entirely different person, and I'm not going to blame it on a loss of ability. I'm going to blame it on a loss of interest. He needs to be moved. He doesn't just deserve to be benched. He needs to be traded. Philadelphia is what I think would be an ideal spot for him, me personally speaking, but he needs to be traded. He needs a new environment. He does not want to be there any longer, and it's written all over his face.
Yep, I agree with that. So let's trace what just happened. You recall we went back and forth that year, back in 2012, Harbaugh going back and forth between Alex Smith and Kaepernick, and I said I would just close my eyes and plunge and go with Kaepernick.
Yep.
Supremely gifted young man. Loved the way he threw, big velocity, big arm. And obviously, I loved the way he could run with the football. And you remember that first playoff run, what he did to the Green Bay Packers at Candlestick Park? 181 yards rushing on 16 carries. Whew, what a show he put on. And they got all the way, as you remember, to the Super Bowl. And I thought there was pass interference on Crabtree in the end zone, but it's close. It's real close to winning that Super Bowl. And then the next year, he was sensational. 24 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. QBR fell just a little bit from 75 to 68, but they were really good. They won 14 games and lost 5. And as you say, one throw, he just didn't quite get enough air under that throw that made Richard Sherman. Then Richard Sherman went off after that game. Remember, that's the NFC Championship game. Then last year he regressed some more, and he started to go into a shell, and he started to look mad at the world. Every time I saw an interview, he seemed to have big chip on shoulder pads,
yep.
and he just, I don't know what was going on. And then there are reports lately about that he's withdrawn from his teammates, and Adam Schefter reported that here in the last, I guess this last week, he actually started not wearing his headphones in the lunchroom. Like, I'm going to take my headphones off, so I'm going to actually try to communicate with some of my teammates. That's on him. That's all his fault. But here's my bottom line to this, and I do agree with your Philadelphia idea. He deserves a fresh start somewhere where he's appreciated. But here's my problem. We just opened the show talking about Cam Newton. What has Cam done that a lot of the other quarterbacks no longer do? He's embraced who he is, right? He runs with the football on occasion when it's called for. Now, you don't love the power runs, but
not the power runs, but I love him running.
I do too. I love him running, and it doesn't seem to bother him, and it seems to ignite his football team, and it makes it a little easier on him because it makes it so much harder on the defense to prep for that.
Let me say this to you. Colin Kaepernick does not deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as Cam Newton, but not because of talent. Look at Cam Newton's attitude. Look at how he infuses the guys around him. Now, this is a guy that used to wear the towel over his head and sulk and all of that other stuff.
He does
not do that.
No, he doesn't.
Cam Newton is a leader.
He is.
Cam Newton inspires guys around him. Guys love being his teammate. I don't see any of that.
I don't know if they used to do. If we go back 3-4 years ago.
But I don't know. But yeah, but Colin Kaepernick, this ain't his first or second year.
No.
This dude has been around for 4 years. Colin Kaepernick doesn't seem, you don't hear anyone speaking up for him. No one. No one. I'm talking about as a person. Now, I don't know how fair that is. Because, I mean, I don't know him. Seems to be pretty nice to me. But if you're a guy that's to yourself, the reason why that's the antithesis of what a quarterback is supposed to be is because the quarterback needs everybody else to do their job. No matter how great the quarterback is, Tom Brady will look like Blaine Gabbert if everybody's dropping passes, running the wrong routes, not studying film, not understanding things, you know, not understanding the system. You need other guys. And as a quarterback, you have to inspire guys to want to be there. The fact that Vernon Davis could get traded and literally get out of bed and talk about, man, all I could think about was Peyton Manning. The fact that the Gronkowskis and Edelmans and Amendolas of the world, everybody talking, even Bill Belichick is Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady. The fact that you got teammates talking about how great Aaron Rodgers is as a talent and everything he brings to the table. Tony Romo, the way his teammates rave about him. You cannot be a quarterback that in any way alienates people. You just can't do it.
Okay.
On the NFL level, it's taboo. And that appears to be what Colin Kaepernick has done. I don't know. I'm just saying it appears to be that way because of what everybody says when they're talking about him. And that's the problem.
Okay. Back to my Cam Newton point. He continues to run with the football very effectively, and I don't know why, but last year, even under Jim Harbaugh, in San Francisco, Kaepernick quit running the read option. He is lethal on the read option, and he's safe with it. He is so gifted athletically. He'll slide. He gashes defense because he has such long strider acceleration.
To piggyback off your point, didn't we hear something along the lines of what Balky and York wanted him to be doing? And how to some degree that was interfering with Harbaugh? Because what I'm saying is that Colin Kaepernick was playing one way for a period of 2 to 3 successful years, and it was flowing. And then all of a sudden last year we saw a change. And we didn't understand where it was coming from. And if you watch Harbaugh coach at Michigan, that's the guy that's coaching at San Francisco. So why would he sit up there and coach at San Francisco for 3 successful years, all right, coach at Michigan once he's gone from San Francisco the same way, but for a particular year in San Francisco, which happened to be his last, there's a deviation. Something's wrong with that picture. That doesn't make sense. Now, I don't know if it's York, Balky, or if they had nothing to do with it, but it doesn't seem to make any sense that you coach this way no matter where you are, at Stanford, at San Francisco, playing with the 49ers, now at Michigan. But 1 year, things change, which was your last year in San Francisco, okay? And that's just Jim Harbaugh. No, there's got to be somebody else. And who else would have the power to influence change?
Okay. It could be Colin Kaepernick, too. Remember what Robert Griffin went through? He said, I am a pocket passer. I do not run anymore.
But Robert Griffin went through that because Haloti Ngata almost took his leg off his body.
That has not happened to Kaepernick.
That has not happened to Kaepernick. So why would he do that?
I don't know.
And I've never heard him say that. We've heard Robert Griffin III say that. We haven't heard that from Colin Kaepernick.
No.
So where's it coming from?
I don't know. But it was under Harbaugh that it started. And listen, he's a good pocket passer, but he is seriously, he can be a great player with the whole package.
But it means nothing, Skip, if you don't have guys that want to play with you.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't know. We don't know. But we got to literally ask those kind of questions with what we're seeing transpire, because there's no reason on earth why Blaine Gabbert should be playing before Colin Kaepernick. I mean, that's just a joke.
The fact that that's happening. QBR to your
and I said before that draft, Blaine Gabbert can't play in this league.
The fact that that happened. Something's going on.
100%.
Something's going on.
Not to mention, I have it listed here, but the 12 notable players they lost since the end of last season. They lost a ton of their pieces as well, in addition to
retirement, injuries, etc. Yeah.
I hope he gets traded.
I hope he comes. Listen, I wouldn't mind seeing Colin Kaepernick in Philadelphia would be special. Yeah. I think so.
All right.
With his, DeMarco Murray, Ryan Matthews, a read option, plus a couple of receivers to pass the ball to. I mean, that's not bad. Colin Kaepernick in Philadelphia, that would be very interesting.
All right, we'll leave it on that. Coming up, did you guys hear what Tiger Woods' former caddy had to say about his old boss? We'll tell you that and react on the other side.